Hi, welcome. This is Sir CJ, and this is still grade 10 biology. I hope that you are learning so far from these lessons and that these video lessons are helpful in your understanding of various concepts in biology 10. And so, for this video lesson, our focus are the following. The first one is an activity number 3, a nervous trip. This activity is gonna show how a nerve impulse is conducted and what are the roles of the sensory as well as the motor neurons. And then the second part of this session naman is a discussion about the various key concepts on stimulus and response. And then the last part of this session will be an enrichment activity about the nervous system. Particularly, the focus of this enrichment activity are as follows. The first one is child brain development, and the second one naman are the diseases affecting the human nervous system. The learning competency for this video lesson is as follows. By the end of this lesson, you should be capable of describing how the nervous system coordinates and regulates these feedback mechanisms to maintain homeostasis. Its code is S10LT3C36. Let us begin. For the first part of this session, activity number 3, a nervous trip about the nerve impulse, we have the following objective. Explain how the body processes are controlled through the nervous system. Well, this since this is quite gamified, you don't really have to have a lot of materials. And yung paper dito, yung one half crosswise sheet of paper, as well as the pencil or pen, are actually intended for the answers to the guide questions and to the not needed and are not needed for the activity itself. All right. Okay. So since I mentioned it's quite gamified, what is going to be the first step? It is for you to form a team of 8 to around 10 students, and these students are gonna compete against other groups in the class. Okay, so ang suggestion actually dito is to have at least I don't know, three, or maybe around four groups per class. And then those groups are gonna be competing against each other. Step number 2. Among the members of the group, assign students who will represent the following parts. So, isang estudyante to become or to act as the brain. Isang estudyante naman to act as the organ. Around 3, no, I think 3, yes. Around 3 to 4 students as sensory neurons, and then around 3 to 4 students to act as motor neurons. Now, if you have decided to go with 3 sensory neurons and 3 motor neurons, then that will be a total of 8 students. But if you have decided to go with 4 sensory neurons and 4 motor neurons, that would total to 10. And yeah, I don't think that if you're gonna create groups of 9, it will work. Okay, so it's either 8 or 10. Number 3, have the brain, yung isang estudyante who is representing the brain, to stand on one end of the classroom. Tapos, yung isa naman, the organ, will be standing naman at the other end of the classroom near the blackboard. So again, yung si brain, end of the classroom, malayo sa blackboard. And then yung organ naman, end of the classroom, sa may harap mismo ng blackboard. Now, step number 4, let the 3 to 4 members representing sensory neurons stand and line up between the brain and the organ. Okay, so yung 3 hanggang 4 na sensory neurons, they will just be lining up. And then yung ibang members naman, yung around 3 to 4 din, who are representing motor neurons, are gonna be standing and lining up facing the sensory neurons. So for you to visualize how they are positioned inside the classroom, I think it's better if we look and if we remember this illustration. All right. So if this is the chalkboard, the organ is standing over here, malapit sa kanya, sa harap niya ng blackboard. And then yung namang brain is over here. All right? And then it's opposite the blackboard on the other end. Ang bawat circle dito are students. And then yeah, the organ as well as the brain are properly labeled. So again, the organ is here, the brain is over there. All right. Now, step number 6, your teacher inside the classroom will be showing you a card and it's gonna be shown to the first member of the group. The first member of the group is considered to be the organ over here sa may bandang harap ng classroom, malapit sa blackboard. Ang ibawat card na ipapakita ng teacher will be actually depicting a situation of a stimulus that is affecting an organ. So, let's say for instance, pwedeng yung card contains words about how you accidentally touched a hot surface, okay? Or how you pricked your finger through a thorn, okay? So those might be the things that you will be reading from these cards and many more. Number 7, the organ must pass the message to one sensory neuron by whispering. So, yung sensory neuron is malapit dito sa organ. This sensory neuron over here will be the one receiving the message through whispering. So, siguro to facilitate it better, siguro make the neurons quite have a space, no? From each other. And kailangan talaga hindi naririnig ng teacher. So, siguro if I'm gonna be officiating this, I might be standing here in the middle and they have to make sure that I don't understand what they are trying to say. All right. Now, asan na ba yun? Okay. Okay, so number 8, each member who receives the message must relay it to the next one, until it reaches the last sensory neuron. And then the last sensory neuron will be running to the brain to communicate the message that was transmitted from the organ. Kailangan gawin ng brain is mag-isip siya ng reaction dun sa stimulus na na-present at napasa, and then this response or reaction should be passed through the motor neurons. So hindi niya ibabalik yung sagot niya dun sa sensory neurons. Kailangan ibalik yon or hindi i-relay yon doon sa first member ng motor neurons sa pinakamalapit sa kanya. Alright. Now, step number 11, bawat membro ng motor neuron group who received the response from the brain, they will be relaying it or they have to relay it to another until it reaches the last person in the group. That is the last motor neuron in the group. Step number 12, yung organ, marireceive niya yung response na yon through the last motor neuron. And the organ must quickly run to the board to write the response. Alright, so kailangan, syempre, acceptable yung sagot. Okay? Hindi pwedeng napakalayo nung naging sagot. And I think for this situation, it's also, I think, good to include stimulus that will be quite more challenging to think of a response to. Ano pa ba? I think for this activity, to make sure na hindi lang gawa-gawa no ni tawag doon ni organ, kasi pagkabasa naman niya nung situation, malamang meron na rin naman siyang idea, no? Kung ano yung magiging response. So maybe to make sure that this is going to be parang, I mean, maybe to make sure that ma-avoid yung instance na si organ lang din ang nag-isip ng response. Maybe it's better if we ask the to write it down. Know what I mean? Like kailangan kompleto yung words na isusulat ng mismong organ. So dapat yung word na yung mga words na yun, matransmit sila ng maayos. Alright. Now, for the steps, kung sino man ang may pinaka-short din na time, they will be the ones who will be hailed as winners for this activity. Now, after giving rewards for the winners in the activity, the students will be going back to their places, and then they will be pulling out a 1/2 crosswise sheet of paper to answer the following questions. Alright. So, the first question among these guide questions is as follows. How does the brain receive the information from the receptor? So, for focus on the manner in which the brain receives the information from the receptor. If you need more time, you can pause this video. Alright, if you are through, let us now continue. Step number 9. What does the brain do as soon as it receives the information? Okay, so please make your answer concise. Now, if you are through, let us proceed to question number 10. How is the message from the brain sent in response to the stimuli? Again, this question is asking for the manner, okay, in which yung mensahe from the brain is sent to the stimuli. So, in response to the stimuli. So, my suggestion is you also include the kind of neurons involved in this activity or in this question. Next is question number 11. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, question number 11. How will you differentiate the sensory and motor neurons based on their functions? So may sila no, meron silang napaka-obvious na pinagkaiba. So yeah, if you're gonna put that into words, how will you say it? If you are through, let us proceed to question number 12. Based on the simulation activity, explain how information travels in the nervous system. So make sure that you include yung mga parts din na involved dito sa question, dito sa sagot sa question na ito. Okay. I think you are through. Let us now proceed, if that is so, to question number 13. Now, why does the damage in the nervous system cause paralysis of the body? Well, for some other cases, if you are inflicted by a disorder in, say, for instance, the eye, ganon, or maybe the liver. Although affected din, syempre, ang buong body. Pero iba pa rin ang effect ng mga disorders of the nervous system. Now, why does the damage of the nervous system why does it cause paralysis of the entire body? When in fact, other organs, when they fail, hindi naman napaparalyze yung buong katawan ng human. Alright, so if you are in need of more time, you can always pause this video. Now, if you are through, let us proceed with question number 14. I think this is the last question in this activity. Question number 14, it asks, what public healthcare programs in your locality are geared towards dealing with health issues concerning the nervous system. If you need more time, if you want to, I think you can just recall a particular tawag doon, government agency or maybe a privately owned charitable institution that is about health, or maybe a public health care program talaga siya. You can always go back to that one and at least say one, okay, that is intended for taking care of health issues concerning the nervous system. Now, if you are through, let us proceed with the next part, which is the answers to the guide questions. All right. For question number one, how does the brain receive the information from the receptor? So, paano ba? The brain receives the information through the sensory neurons, okay? Specifically, sensory neurons that transmit the message from one neuron to another. So, I think that the most important couple of words here in the answer should be, sensory neurons. Okay, so if you mentioned here, motor neuron, baka hindi pa natin pwedeng i-consider yan. All right. The next question is question number 9. Now, what does the brain do as it receives the information? Ano ang ginagawa ng utak kapag na-receive na niya yung information? Well, the answer to this question is, as soon as makuha ng brain yung information, it's gonna be processing it, and then the message will be sent through a response using the neurons. Alright. The next question is question number 10. Now, how is the message from the brain sent in response to the stimuli? So, for this one, you might need to cite kung ano talaga yung uri ng neuron. And I think that it's the motor neurons. The message from the brain is relayed by the motor neurons that transmit the message from one neuron to another going to the effector or the effector muscle or yung muscle mismo na concerned, okay, na connected doon sa stimuli. Kasi parang ano nga naman no, parang may mali kapag halimbawa napaso ka no sa kamay, tapos yung response na ipadala sa paa. 'Di ba? Parang may mali. All right. Now the next question will be question number 11, and the answer to this question, how will you differentiate the sensory and motor neurons based on their functions, is the sensory neurons transmit impulses from the receptor to the brain, while motor neurons transmit impulses from the brain to the effector. So, alin yung papunta sa brain? It's the sensory neurons. At alin naman ang mga paalis na or palayo na from the brain? It is the motor neurons. Alright, very well. Now, for the next question, we have here the question number 12. Now, based on the simulation activity, explain how information travels in the nervous system. Now, this is going to be, quite a long response, and it is as follows. Ang information in the nervous system, it travels through the neurons that transmit the impulse. Now, the sense organ receives the message, okay, and then the information is sent by the sensory neurons papunta sa brain. Na yung brain naman, ipaprocess niya yun, tapos magsasend siya ng response sa pamamagitan ng mga motor neurons. Tapos yung mga motor neurons na yun, connected siya sa mga organs, sa mga glands, o kaya sa mga muscles. And then those are gonna be the effectors that will be producing the response. The next question is question number 13. Why does the damage in the nervous system cause paralysis of the body? Ngayon, ang background natin dito is the fact that regarding regarding with, tama ba? Hindi naman siguro, pero na. The question here is parang ganito. Bakit kapag yung ibang mga organs, kahit na, mayroon silang disorders or diseases, hindi naman affected ang buong katawan, na hindi naman siya buong katawan nagpa-paralyze, di ba? Like, sometimes the ailment is just concerning, say, for instance, your eyes, but they're not gonna make your, I don't know, your tummy's upset, they're not gonna paralyze your entire body. Yun yung pinanggagalingan ng question na to. Now, the answer is any damage in the nervous system affects the function of the body parts, since messages are not properly transmitted throughout the body. So, kailangan ng nervous system na okay ang lahat ng parts ng katawan. Okay? And if halimbawa, siya mismo ang hindi okay, ang nervous system mismo ang hindi okay, of course, ang mangyayari is affected yung buong function ng katawan, kasi those are being coordinated by the brain. Halimbawa, the eyes. The eyes are not really coordinating with the overall health of your liver, of your lungs. Like it mostly almost always just takes care of itself. But when it comes to the nervous system kasi, since it is connected with the entire body, kapag siya naapektuhan, affected talaga din ang buong katawan. All right. The next one is question number 14. Now, ano-anong mga public healthcare programs kaya ang available sa atin? Well, your answers may vary on this question, to this question. However, may mga examples tayo dito ng mga public healthcare programs that deal with the nervous system, such as the National Mental Health Program, the Epilepsy Camp, the Universal Healthcare, Rabies Prevention and Control Program, and many others. At this point, we are concluding this part of the session. So for the guide questions, which are the which are also graded, what you have to do is you have to make sure that your answers are close to our answers over here. If they are not, maybe since compliance pa lang naman siguro ito, no, you can just please be honest and just put an X mark if hindi mo talaga nakuha yung concept na hinihingi or tinatanong. Alright? Alright. Now, the next parts of this session are gonna be a lot faster. The second part of this session is actually a discussion about some key concepts in stimulus and response. Now, kapag na-receive ng isang receptor, okay, such as an organ, yung stimulus, yung impulse is nasa-send sa brain sa pamamagitan ng mga sensory neurons. Now, paano ginagawa yon? Simple. It's just gonna be communicating with the nearest sensory neuron na malapit or papunta sa brain. Okay, so that's how it does that. Now, kapag halimbawa na-receive na ng brain yung message, it is going to process that information and it will command an effector. So, hindi na siya receptor ngayon. An effector could be a muscle or an organ that is going to respond. Now, the message coming from the brain is gonna be sent through the motor neurons this time. Pero kapag halimbawa yung message is papunta sa brain, those neurons are sensory neurons. Alright? And yeah, that ends our discussion about the stimulus and response. Okay, so for the next part of this session, the last part, it will be talk about how to enrich your understanding about the nervous system. Particularly, we're gonna be tackling the issue about child brain development. Ang mga bata kasi in their first 3 years of life, sobrang bilis mag-develop ng mga brains nila, ng mga heads nila, ng kanilang nervous system basically. It triples, okay? And by the time that they are about to go into their 4th year of life, they have made around 1,000 trillion nerve connections. Thus, the child's experiences during these years, yung first hanggang 3 years niya, are crucial for brain development. Now, what you have to do is go over the internet and search for information about different ways of stimulating the brain development of children. Now, ang focus nito is for you to know or research about yung iba-ibang mga brain exercises or mga toys na pwedeng ibigay sa mga bata to stimulate their brain development, or many other ways in which we can actually affect the way the brains of these toddlers operate. All right. Now, for the next and last enrichment activity is you will be designing a flyer that will disseminate information about the different diseases affecting the human nervous system. All right. So, ang gagawin lang dito, gagawa lang kayo ng flyers o kaya ng brochures, tapos naka-feature doon yung mga diseases ng nervous system. Okay, so that's it. All right. So, yeah, I think that we're done with this session. This is again around, session number 4? Yes, of grade 10 biology. And in this session, we were able to finish the following parts. Okay, so the first part is activity 3, a nervous trip. This activity reminds us of how the nerve impulse functions at ano yung role ng dalawang uri ng neurons, yung sensory as well as the motor neuron. The second part of this session was a discussion about various key concepts. Ang mga key concepts na ito ay nakaangkla sa konsepto ng stimulus and response. And then, the last part of this session is an enrichment about the nervous system. Dalawang focus natin dito. Yung una nating focus is child's brain development and how these brains of children actually triple in size, okay, by the end of their 3rd year of life. And then the last enrichment activity that was mentioned was the various diseases affecting the human nervous system. Alright, so this is Sir CJ, and I hope that you learned something in this video lesson and that this video lesson helps you in achieving high grades or high marks when it comes to your face-to-face, your day-to-day interactions in school. Alright, I hope that I will see you in the next edition of Biology 10. Okay, so have a good day.